DC here. Hi, guys and gals. Well, it's Monday evening. It is 8:35 in the evening over here. So most of you in America most of you have probably already experienced that eclipse. I hope it was a good experience, because, I mean, they don't come that often, do they? Having a coffee. Miss DC is just over there watching TV. She just told me it was some type of new crimi series. I mean, she really likes those mostly. Oh, what was I going to chat about today? Well, let me see. I was going to chat about quiet times. Now, there was quiet times, and I was going to link it into an article that I read on the New York Times today. I'm not always a great fan of the New York Times, because sometimes some of their articles are almost like pop psychology, but there was something kind of interesting nevertheless. Now, quiet time. I was thinking about all the quality that we can get for ourselves as far as quiet time. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Let me see. Oh, come on. Well, so much for that. I was going to try and zoom in. Yeah. Here we are. A little bit. Yeah. A little bit more of my face in there. Yeah. It's all about quality time. Well, this weekend, I was out geocaching. And I was just walking along. Those of you who follow me on Facebook, the few of you do, you've seen some of the pictures I put up. It was on the Sarin River. So it was a beautiful time alone. And what I was doing, I had on my headphones, well, not the sound, not the ones that kill out all the sound. If I'm walking around, I want to hear my environment. And I was listening to a Christian podcasts, and it was just quality time for me. Nice messages for me. I'm a good old boy. And I was listening to those things and thinking, about how life is. Swam. And walking along, and I spent like 4 or 5 hours walking, listening to messages along the river, and it was great. Taking pictures, and I really enjoyed that time alone with myself. And now, how often do we get to have that chance? And I thought, it's great, but at the same time, many of us have it and just waste it. When I used to drive to work, I lived in Fribourg here and drive to Basel. Basel was if it was a drive, it was an hour and a half drive. If it was on train, it was 2.5 hours. So I would put on, I don't know how many of you know about these. These are like radio theater, Adventures in Odyssey, and other stuff. Different radio theater. And I would so enjoy that quality time for me. It was just fantastic. It really was. Now, another thing about quality time like that is not just the fact that you are alone, but you're really enjoying not only what you're listening, but the time around you. It just kind of like, if you got a good spice to a meal, it just like adds to it. And it's the same thing. Okay. Part A of this vlog. Part B is similar in a way. You'll see when I get to it at the end. There was an article in the New York Times that was talking about creativity and age. And the fact is they were going on, is a good thing. Now, older people tend to have more experience, tend to be more rational, and very often tend to be, so to say, less creative. Younger people, there was an example, well, oh goodness, I don't have the article with me right now, but it was like kids would like pull out things like, well, if you don't eat vegetables, you'll be more free, or stuff like that. Strange things like that. But the fact is that if as you get older, you get more cautious. I won't use the word conservative because that's not the right word. More cautious. You tend to take less risks. And very often when you're like that, you're less creative. Is that a problem? Well, it can be, depending on what you're doing, I suppose. And I was thinking, like, a few years back, we used to do a heck of a lot on YouTube now. We used to do a heck of a lot of collabs and stuff. And we were extremely creative. Now, today, most of us do vlogs, but we don't do that many collabs and maybe theatrical stuff. Some people might say, well, you don't need to do that. No, but there maybe was the childlike part of us that was coming out more then. Yeah. And it brings one to think, about all that. I mean, it's like when we have those, and I'm getting back to the first part A of the vlog, is the quiet times helps us to be reflective. A few years back, I used to use those quiet times to be creative. Now, I tend to use the quiet times more to be reflective. And when I think about all of that, I'm wondering, is that the aging process that's getting into it? Kind of worrying, actually. Now, maybe we all need, like an electric shock or something to get us moving back again. What does it take us to be more creative? And at the same time, being reflective is not bad. But still, there's like a kind of a balance between the two. And I've been wondering about that a lot lately. Is that what helped me to have what I would call a more healthy balance between reflective and creative. And you know what? Even though the question I start off with quiet times, is the fact is, very often creativity comes with community. It's like a triangle. Creativity, community, something probably more a rectangle. Creativity, community, quiet time. 1, 2, 3. That's a triangle, actually. But is there something missing, in our lives that helps us to bring all of those together? I don't know. I'm still, mulling about it. But it's an interesting thought. Do we need to be in a community to be creative? If you're not in a community, does it care if you're creative? Maybe, because it's for you. But then it becomes part, if you're alone, it's all part of your quiet time. It's complex, but do you see where I'm getting at? The whole fact, and this is a discussion that we've had so often in the last years, the evolution in the last 10 years of the original YouTube community we were part of, that's become maybe part of a Facebook community that's kind of like two-dimensional instead of three-dimensional. And it's kind of stifled, I find, our creativity. So do we need to find new communities? I think maybe that's not completely off track. I have seen that. Now, Andy, if you're watching me, you can probably interject on this. Andy has come into the whiskey lovers, whiskey tasting community. He's kind of like creating a new community around him. And he's becoming one of the, I would almost say, upcoming and star player in that. And people are gyrating around him. And you can see the creativity and the, I would almost see the new energy. Maybe that's what we need. Find new groups, new energy. Anyway, think about it. I'd like to know what you think about it, really, actually, because it is something. I mean, it's the type of reflection we've been bringing on non-stop for quite a while. It's like, you know, this yearning, this nostalgia of the good old YouTube days. But maybe we have to create new YouTube days to get that old YouTube type sensations that we used to love. Anyway, I really, really want to know what you think about it. Okay, DC signing off. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.